Hello, Flosstube. Happy Sunday, April 24th of 2022. My name is Heather. I am the 20-Minute Stitcher, and thank you for spending some of your day here with me on my channel. I have to apologize for some of the weird lighting. I'm recording earlier in the day than I usually do, and the sun is sort of streaming in through my blinds and windows, which is making this weird effect. Hello, Molly. But this is kind of my only opportunity to film today, so it was either have weird lighting that I hope won't annoy you all too much or not record. So I opted for the weird lighting. Hope you all have had a wonderful week. Mine has been good, much better. Finally tested negative and was able to resume my normal life, which was wonderful. Also finally got some nice weather. You can see it's super sunny here in Northern Ohio right now. It's also like low mid 70s. Beautiful. It was up to 80, 81 yesterday. We're going to be back down to the 40s in like 2 days because that's just the Midwest for you, especially this close to one of the Great Lakes. It just is what it is. My sinuses will go bonkers. It will be delightful. But right now I'm enjoying this beautiful, beautiful weather. So upside of that is my daughter finally got a softball game in yesterday. She plays for her high school junior varsity softball team. They've only had one game now two, but before yesterday had only had one game the whole season on April 5th or 6th or something like that. And every other game had been postponed because of weather, which I suspect means that the rest of May will probably be very, very, very busy with softball as all of those postponed games get rescheduled, plus the games already scheduled. Whew, yikes. It'll be wonderful. I love watching the games. I love watching her play. But man, it's going to really cut into my stitching and reading time. But that's okay. It's worth it. So that was fun. They had a game yesterday. The game did not go in their favor, but my daughter had a really, really strong game. So that's something to be grateful for. For those of you who are new to my channel, I have to say, I am almost up to 500 subscribers, which just blows my mind considering that I started this channel really just for myself. I didn't know that anyone would give a flying fig what I was stitching or had to say or care about anything. So to have people who have responded to my stitching and my channel, it feels really nice. And I'm so happy that so many of you choose to share some of your time with me. For those of you who might be new to my channel, I've had several new subscribers in the last week. Welcome. I'm hoping perhaps you watched one of my other channels or other episodes, so maybe you know a little bit about why I call myself the 20-Minute Stitcher. The short version, I am a single parent with two very busy children and a very busy and demanding job. So frequently, my only time to stitch during the week, not counting the weekends, is the 20 minutes between when my daughter gets on the bus for school in the morning and when I need to get my son up to get ready for his day at school. So that is frequently my time where I sit and stitch. Did not do that this past week. My daughter was on spring break, so our schedules were all wonkified. Downside is I didn't get my typical stitching in. Upside, I didn't have to get up at 5:30 every morning. I was able to sleep in until 6:30, which was lovely. Other upside, because I was still largely isolating thanks to my COVID, for the beginning part of the week, I still got a fair amount of stitching time in because what else did I have to do but sit in my room and watch TV and stitch. So I do have a little bit of stitching progress to share with you. I worked on, I guess, 4 different patterns this week, 3.5 different patterns this week. The thing that has been occupying most of my time for the end of this week is something I have never done before. It's something I didn't even know existed until I sort of jumped into this new modern world of cross stitch. I have been working on gridding a piece of fabric. So you all voted for, remember a few episodes ago, I had you voting for the Halloween pattern that you wanted me to start. And the winner was, oh boy, that light's really bad now. The winner was, here we go, was the Tiny Modernist, When Witches Go Riding, Sal, from I think 2021 maybe? I don't know. Doesn't say it here. Anyway, When Witches Go Riding. So as you can see, so I sat down to start stitching on it and was like, oh, these things are really spaced out a lot. And this is a really large piece of fabric. And I said, well, I could start in the center which is kind of right here around the moon's nose. And I'm like, okay, well, that would be easy. I could stitch the moon. And then I guess I could go up and do this banner and down it and then kind of work my way out from there. But even then, the motifs are really spaced a lot apart. And I just sort of felt like, oh boy, this is just inviting mistakes, counting mistakes. So I have seen lots of people grid their fabric in the past. I definitely see the benefit of it because then you can start wherever you want. You can jump around. All you have to do is just count your grids, right? And then pair them up with the pattern. But I'm impatient. And like when I want to start stitching something, I want to start stitching it. I don't want to take however long it takes to grid a piece of fabric. But I decided that this was probably the right pattern to try grid, especially because it's so large and the motifs are so spread out. I said, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. So it does take forever though. Yowzers. I don't know how many of you grid fabric. I definitely will not do this as a matter of course. I know some people who grid everything. More power to them. I don't have the patience for it. So I have been working on the fabric here. I don't know if you can, I guess you can't see. So I am using a sulky sliver metallic in red. So it will show up nice and big. So I've gridded sort of the outside border, and now I'm doing the vertical lines. And then once I finish with those, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of the vertical lines to do. And then I will do the horizontal lines, which I'm sure will go much more quickly because then I don't really have to count. Hi, cats. The birds are also very excited that it's warmer weather, which means my cats are also very excited. I might have to find a new filming location. Anyway, so I have spent a lot of time this week working on this. So I started by, pinning the fabric, counting out the 10 or 20 since it's even weave or linen, and pinning, and then I did the border, and now I'm filling in. So it will be wonderful. I know that it will stitch very quickly now once I have it gridded. But oh my gosh, this is testing my patience. I give lots of credit to the people who grid everything as a matter of course, because I'm getting really impatient. I've almost quit like 4 times to just be like, that's okay, I'll just take my chances, I'll just count. It's counted cross stitch, I'm supposed to count. But I'm gonna stick with it. It'll be good when it's done. So that's been a lot of what I've worked on this week. But at the beginning of the week, I did work on several of my other patterns. So I spent some time working on my Bent Creek Fa La La, which, where is it? There it is, which is this pattern here. My little Fa La La. Didn't get a whole lot done, but I can show you where I'm at with, I gotta move Chip and Dale here. They're covering up some of my work. Scoot, boys. Okay. So I think last time I shared this, okay, hold on. This crazy light. There we go. Last time I shared this, I had all the letters done and I had most of the leaves done. I finished up one of these red leaves here, and these leaves up here I added in. So I basically finished the leaves. Like this half of the pattern is basically done now. So all that's left is the llama, and then there are a couple leaves and things over on the other side too. So this guy's probably not halfway done in terms of like the number of stitches, but sort of the one half of the pattern is done. The one half of the side of the pattern is done. So I'll keep working on that one. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to share sort of my plans for May, and you'll understand a little bit more about what I'm working on with that. Then I also continued to work on my JBW Designs of Very Merry Spring. Sorry, that bag was loud. That is this pattern. It stitches pretty quickly. It's lots of fun. I only worked on it probably not even a full hour, but continuing to get good work on it done. So again, before I think I had, oh good Lord, there we go. Yikes, sorry everyone. Maybe come over here, is that better? Oh, that's a little bit better, I think. So I think when I shared last time, I had the word very done, and I had maybe a little bit of the A at the top done. So now you can see, right, I have A, very, and I've started in on Mary. I have the M and the first E done. So that is coming along nicely as well. I'm really, really liking it. Oh, that's what I forgot to share. Sorry. So for Fa La La, I'm just stitching that on a mystery linen. I stole it from my mom's stash. I don't even know what it is. But I am using all of the called for floss. They're Classic Colorworks flosses and Weeks Dye Works flosses, except for one. So the pattern called for Classic Colorworks Cherry Cobbler for the red leaves. My LNS didn't have that color in stock, so I went with Weeks Dye Works Lancaster Red instead. So that is Fa La La by Bent Creek. Sorry, I forgot to share that. So back to the JBW designs. Let me find my little piece of paper there so I know what I'm stitching there. I know that the fabric is, it's a peach by Bestitch Me. It was the fabric of the month in March. Yeah, March, I think, recently. And I am stitching this with Weeks Dye Works Capri floss. So not using the called for floss or fabric. For this pattern, just sort of dove through my stash, found what I had that looked bright and springy, and I'm really, really happy with how this is looking. So I'm excited about this one. So that was my progress on A Very Merry Spring by JBW Designs. And there's the pattern again. All right, and then the last pattern I worked on this week was my I Know God by Lizzie Kate. And this one also is just being stitched on a mystery linen. I don't know what it's called. Again, it's from my mom's stash. And again, my needle minder's in the way. Just take it off. So this is where I'm at. There seems to be less sun glare over here. This is where I am at on this. I'm getting pretty close to being done. I believe the last time I showed this, I had sort of all of this top part done, and I had maybe sort of started the words down here. But now you can see I have almost all the words done. All I have left is the rest of the word trust, and then me so much, and then there are sort of two kind of border line motifs at the very, very bottom. Whoops, as you can see here. So yeah, so I have, or I guess technically there are 3 little lines at the bottom under the text. And then the buttons to put on. So this one is coming along. I worked on this at the beginning of the week, but haven't picked it up for a few days since then. So this one again, stitching it on just mystery linen from my mom's stash. The pattern itself calls for Crescent Colors, Gentle Arts, and Weeks Dye Works floss, but does provide the DMC and anchor conversions. And I am stitching with the DMC, so the called for DMC conversion flosses. So that is my stitching for this week. The actual stitching all was at the beginning of the week. I have spent what little time I had towards the end of the week working on that gridding. I'm going to finish it because I am excited. I forgot to put my needle minder away. Because I am excited to try it, right? Apologies for all the pistachio. What are you doing? Quit putting your ear in my frame. Thank you. I'm excited to try stitching on the gridded fabric. I do think that it will make the stitching itself go faster. So I'm looking forward to it. So wanted to give a couple of shout outs that are long overdue. And I apologize for that. So gosh, I don't know, probably a month ago at this point, I was quite surprised to find out from a comment from a viewer that I was given a shout out by the folks over at Small Town Needleworks. And I have been meaning to say thank you to them for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I always forget because I keep saying I'm going to write an outline of what I want to talk about in my videos, and then I never do. I just say, no, I'll just wing it. I'll just bring my stitching and chat. And which is fine, except that then I forget to thank people who deserve to be thanked. So the ladies over at Small Town Needleworks, I want to thank you so much for giving me a shout out, for giving me a boost on your channel. and for sharing me with your viewers. And I am happy to return the favor. I have started watching them. They were not a channel I was familiar with before they gave me a shout out. And they're lots of fun. They're stitching on fun things. So I wanted to be able to say thank you to them. I'll link them in the description below. And I thought it might be fun to also share with you some of the other Flosstubers that I enjoy watching. I know I have mentioned before, Cat, if you spill my coffee, go, oh my goodness, pistachio. Pardon me, I apologize. The risks of doing my Flosstube out in the open. Oh, Cat, you knocked my stuff down. Okay. It's fine. Okay. Where was I? I wanted to share some of the Flosstubers that I enjoy watching. There are so many of them. And I know I have mentioned before, for instance, watching the Proper Stitcher, Annie, her tutorial on making scissor fobs. I feel like I've probably mentioned a few other Flosstubers as well. But I thought that I would share a couple of the Flosstubers that I enjoy watching. So first I'll shout out a fellow Ohioan. I do always enjoy watching the 614 Stitcher. If you've not seen her videos, definitely encourage you to check her out. She's got some really cool projects she's working on. A really beautiful temperature sow that she's working on. And she does a May Stitch program project that I am thinking about jumping on as well, just because I really like the idea behind it. I also have recently found Kaylee Cross Stitch, and I really enjoy her videos. She stitches a ton of like tinies. I don't know how she does it. Like, she was showing fabric she bought that was counts I didn't even know they made. Tiny little projects, which I don't know that I could ever do. I don't think my eyes are good enough anymore, but I sure do love watching her stitch and seeing her finished projects. So she's fun to watch as well. So I wanted to share those two Flosstubers that I really enjoy watching. I will link them both below. Pardon me. No, Isa. Sorry about that. When I got Pistachio off my desk, he knocked my gridded fabric down, which then, of course, one of the other cats said, "Ooh, toy." Oh, my goodness, they're being so disruptive today. But anyway, so wanted to share those couple of Flosstubers. And then wanted to talk a little bit about May plans. So I cannot believe that it is almost May, right? We're, a week and a half out from it being May. I know a lot of Flosstubers do Maynia, a new start every day of the month, or a new start for the last 2 numbers of the year. I've heard it both ways. Both of those give me the heebie-jeebies. Like, both of those make me start to feel stress and anxiety. So I will not be doing that. But what I think I am going to be doing, and I will finalize this by the end of the week for next week's video, but thought I would share my ideas and certainly welcome what you might be doing for May, or welcome your thoughts on what you'd like to see me do. I think I'm going to do a variation on Maynia. Maybe I'll call it Maynia. Maynia. I don't know. I'm just being silly now at this point. But I have really been in sort of the new start mode lately. I've started all kinds of new patterns. I am now officially out of project bags, as you can probably deduce from the fact that my JBW Designs is in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. So I'm not allowed to have any new starts until I finish some things, except for my When Witches Go Riding. Technically, I've already started that since I'm gridding it. That's what I'm telling myself, at least. So the new start thing won't work for me in May because I don't have any bags to put new projects in. So what I am thinking about doing is doing sort of a focused approach to my projects in May. I think I have 10 or 11 whips right now, some of which have not been touched like since January or even longer. So I am thinking about making my Maynia a sort of focused projects, either alternating days, or maybe 3 days in a row I work on this project, then the next 3 days. So basically sort of taking the number of days in May, dividing them up by my number of whips, and however many days that is, that's how many days I work on each of my whips, so that each of my whips gets a little bit of love in May. I'm thinking about doing that. I am also thinking about, and this is the idea that the 614 stitcher, so she doesn't do Maynia either, but May is also, May, my dad's outside doing yard work. He lives right next door, so he's just waved at me. And if you hear the weed whacker, that's why. The other reason why I'm recording this early in the morning, because he said he was going to get out and do yard work, and I have windows open, so hopefully it won't get too noisy, but I'm almost done. But the 614 stitcher, she doesn't do Maynia, but May is also Mental Health Awareness Month, and so she does a sort of mental health themed pattern in May each year. And I really liked that idea for a variety of reasons. One, I work in the legal profession, which has not a great track record for mental well-being. And oh yeah, that's loud, isn't it? So I work in the legal profession. Mental health is a big issue and focus for us. Also, like, mental health has touched my family, right? I mean, let's be honest, it's touched all of us in the last 2 years with this pandemic. But, you know, in the last 5 years, we have dealt with my cancer, my divorce, the pandemic. Both, you know, all three of us, me, both of my kids, have been in counseling at one point or another in the last 2 years. Just because life sometimes is rough and you need someone impartial to help you just parse through it all. So I really liked the idea of maybe doing that mental health May stitch as well. So I have to look through my patterns, see if I have something that would fit. If I do, that will be sort of the one new start I will let myself have in May. Otherwise, I think my plan is I'm going to come up with some work on my whips plan for May. So I have to think about what that might look like. But that's what I've got going on right now. Thank you for spending some of your day with me. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel and to my videos. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you liked what you saw. I hope you will subscribe and stick around and join us again. I hope all of you have a blessed and beautiful day, and that you get to do some of the things that you love and enjoy today. I wish you all health and wellness, and I will see you again in a week. Have a wonderful day and happy stitching.